Hey guys, Ryan here. So let's talk about the Garmin Venu 3. Garmin Venu 2 Plus came out in January 2022 and Venu 3 came out just recently. I made a comparison video. You could go watch that for details, and my end goal is for you to make an informed decision before buying this watch. And I'm kind of breaking my silence. So let's talk about some of the important changes. One of the changes that right away made me really upset was the fact that the case is now made of plastic instead of stainless steel. The Venu 2 Plus was made of stainless steel, but this one is made of plastic. To be honest, any kind of metallic material is superior to plastic for the most part. So whether it's stainless steel, aluminum, titanium, it doesn't matter. The thing is, one person told me that the stainless steel made an allergic reaction on their skin, and I totally understand this and I respect it. But again, a metallic material is always superior to plastic. So for this price, I didn't expect this change, and I'm not happy with it. The second thing that I wanted to talk about, you definitely need to know this, is that there's definitely some quality control issues here. So I right away noticed that some of the buttons two of the buttons were mushy and then one of them was clicky. I wasn't sure if this is by choice, or is this a faulty device or something. So I asked around, and most of you guys said the same thing, that that you had the same problem, although in different order. So some of them were mushy, some of the buttons were clicky. And fun thing is that the more I wore the watch, the more annoying it got, to the point that I'm not wearing it anymore. In fact, I'm wearing the Venu 2 Plus for the time being. So, and this one has perfectly clicky buttons. But one of the nice changes was that the display size got bigger from 1.3 inches to 1.4 inches. So that's nice, although the bezel remains the same. So it has almost the same thickness. So, but again, because the display size got bigger, that's okay. Although the thickness of the watch itself also got reduced. So the Venu 2 Plus is now thicker compared to Venu 3. The other nice thing was that the battery life got way better. So from up to 9 days in Venu 2 Plus to up to 14 days. Although in real life, you should expect typically somewhere between 7 to 10 days. And you might get less than this, but I'm guessing rarely more than this. Then there was the HRV balance that was added. So now the watch can track your HRV during sleep, and you can see at a glance if your HRV is balanced or not. And then we had the nap detection, which is a very welcome feature. A really nice feature for the first time in any Garmin watches. So that's great. That's a great change. We also had the sleep coach for the first time. So the sleep coach is a bit different than the normal, sleep tracking details that you see. Probably is special because it also takes into account your recovery and your HRV status, in addition to, the normal length of sleep and so on. Another nice change is the sleep schedule. So unlike the Venu 2 Plus, which only had, the same sleep and wake time, now you could schedule sleep time for each day of the week. Then we also have open water swimming, another nice addition. And one of the really unique features of this watch is the wheelchair mode that you could turn on if you're a wheelchair user, and instead of steps, it'll track the pushes, and then some activities will be added to the watch that are unique to wheelchair users. So that's great addition. Another heart rate change that I forgot to talk about was the new heart rate sensor. So in general, Garmin watches have always been really reliable in terms of the accuracy of their sensors that they're using. But a new change is welcome, I guess. But the reality is that the difference is very minimal. So you won't notice much of a difference in terms of getting a more accurate reading from the sensors. So that's a new thing. In addition to that, they also changed the arrangement of the sensors. That, to me, again, it looks now more like they're high-end watches, but I can almost guarantee you in a few years they're probably going to change the arrangement again. So these changes don't make much of a difference to me personally. But here's my real gripe with this watch. Of course, I talked about the quality control issue on the plastic casing, but let's just forget about those two things, okay? The majority of changes here are software changes. And the painful part is that all these changes could have been added to the Venu 2 Plus. The Venu 2 Plus is capable of tracking your HRV. It is capable of tracking your sleep. It is capable of tracking naps. It is capable of tracking your recovery time. It is capable of tracking many other things that were added to the Venu 3. It is capable of the wheelchair mode. It's capable of all those things. So that's my real gripe with this new watch. So if you want to buy this watch, First of all, be mindful of those quality control issues. Okay, if you get it, make sure if you see a faulty unit, return it, ask for a refund or ask for a replacement unit. Okay, don't forget that. This is your right. Don't get a faulty unit. And second of all, remember that pretty much all these software changes could have been added to the Venu 2 Plus. If Garmin wants to, they could already add this to the Venu 2 Plus as well. And a really good watch, I should say. It seems like it's better made because it's made of stainless steel. The buttons are nice and clicky, so it works. It's reliable. The sensors are really good. And I've had no problems whatsoever with this watch. Of course, I've had some issues with it that I've talked about in the previous videos as well. Of course, if I wanted to, I could just keep going with other problems too. For example, why don't they just add the wireless charging? Why do we still have to use this ancient proprietary charger on the back of the watch? Of course, if you want, I have a link in the description that solves this problem, kind of. So go take a look at that. And then what happened to the skin temperature sensor? Why don't we have this on this watch? There are cheaper watches than this that have the skin temperature sensor. So these are the things I really wanted you to know before buying this watch. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, shoot in the comments. See you in the next one.